Welcome to the Sustainable Success Show, where we share real-world ideas, strategies, and systems to help you build success that lasts in business and life. Each episode delivers practical insights you can apply immediately without burnout, chaos, or short-term fixes that don't scale. At the foundation is emotional intelligence and effective communication, how you lead yourself and how you connect with others across personalities, generations, and cultures, because that's where trust, engagement, and performance are created. I'm Christopher Salem, your host, and this is where sustainable success becomes your competitive advantage. Hi, welcome to the Sustainable Success Show. I'm Chris Salem, your host. I hope this is your first time here. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here at Sustainable Success since we've gone to our new platform back in January of this year. We were with Voice America for over 8 years, since May of 2017. And we are excited on our new platform where now you get to watch us, not only can listen to us like you did in the past, but that being said, you could also still listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and also iHeart Radio as well. And of course, our YouTube channel at Christopher R. Salem, where you could also watch these episodes each and every week, where we bring in subject matter experts to share their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate you and your level of success to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, today's show today, we're going to be looking at you, those out there that are high income earners or desire to be high income earners. Maybe you're on the verge of that happening, and how you can now legally reduce your taxes by 25% plus. In this episode, our subject matter expert, Ethan Heisey, he's going to break down why taxes, not investments, are the biggest wealth killer for high-income earners. He's going to share how business owners, professionals can legally reduce their tax burden, uncovering hidden opportunities and keeping more of what you make using these advanced strategies that many do not even know exist. A little bit about Ethan Heisey. He is an entrepreneur, strategist, and founder of Exponential Freedom, where he helps high-income earners and business owners legally reduce their tax burden and build long-term wealth. By collaborating with the national network of CPAs, tax attorneys, and financial professionals, Ethan specializes in advanced tax planning, wealth structuring, and alternative investments. His mission is to help clients unlock exponential growth by connecting them with the right strategies and with the right people at the right time. And you're going to have all the contact information for Ethan in the show notes, and he will have something to offer you here at the end of the show. And without further ado, we welcome Ethan Heisey to the show. Ethan, how you doing today?
Fantastic. It's great to be here. And Chris, I love what you have going on. I was listening to some of your podcasts recently, and man, I'm have my team out there just listening to them right now. And I'm like, guys, you need to know this. And it's so important what you're doing. So keep it up. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Ethan, for all you're doing. Thank you for that plug, and I really appreciate it. You know, as we've been committed for over 9 years now of providing this value. We'll be 9 years in May. We'll be celebrating next month, 9 years doing this. Wow. I love to learn more about you and what you're going to talk about today. Your backstory first, that kind of led you up what you do today to help these high income earners, help them save 25% plus on their taxes to build their wealth.
Yeah. Backstory is I was a former financial advisor working over at Northwestern Mutual. We were helping people, put their money in investments, which is great. And it's good to invest your money. And it's good. It's oftentimes better to invest it with someone who's more knowledgeable than if you're not comfortable investing on your own. But what's interesting I found, Chris, is I think people do it out of order. I mean, oftentimes they're going to their financial advisor and they're asking them the question, what can you do for me that's going to outperform the stock market by, let's say, 1 or 2%. It's not much in the first year, but compoundingly over time, 1 or 2% can add up for yourself. But it's still out of order. The problem is people only have a limited amount of money they can send over to their financial advisor. What I found the best strategy is before you go find a financial advisor, go find either a tax attorney, tax mitigation expert, tax strategist. What they'll be able to do is free you up capital. I mean, and we're talking about, let's say you make $400,000 this year. Your tax bill, let's say you live in California, you're probably paying $100,000 in taxes between federal and state combined. Well, if you could essentially wipe out your tax bill, knock it down to zero, so you get all your $100,000 back in taxes, that's a quarter of your income back. So what makes most sense is let's save you on taxes to free up capital that we can then invest your money into places that either outperform the market or more efficiently in the stock market. Problem is people are trying to grow their money before they have it. So the foundation piece is save on tax, then we go invest. And if you do it in order like that, that's when you'll be more successful.
A little bit. And, a lot of times people, I've heard something, people talk about that, but very rare. Like you said, they do the direct opposite. And that is now when it comes to, I guess you're going to go into more length in the process with us here, but, does somebody have to be at that cusp of making a lot of money, or can it be something where they're striving to get there, but nonetheless they can start now?
Anyone can save. It's not complicated if you go to the right people who are doing it all day long. Most people are on the mission of how do I make more money in my career? How do I grow my business? Which is great, and that's where your mind should be focused, and you should have an A team behind you. And I'm talking an A team. Most people get their advice from their brother or sister who happens to be a plumber, which is awesome, and we love our family, but let's just be careful on who's has the right expertise. So here are the people you want in your corner. I would recommend find a tax attorney, financial advisor, business consultant, an estate planner, and maybe a lawyer. If you get those people on speed dial, you can solve any financial problem it's going to come your way. As long as they're good, as long as they know what they're talking about.
No, that's so true. And like you said, you got to build a team. You got to build your advisory board, if you want to call it. And you just can't go off of, just because somebody says something. You got to go out and research and vet that. Maybe talk to some other people that might be able to, figure that out. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean they actually can do those things. That are they vetted? And that's one of the things that I know I've done as a business owner, that I just don't work with somebody directly immediately. I have to make sure I vet them. I want to make sure that they're going to be able to follow through and do exactly what they say they do. And I think that is so important. Can you share with us some insights to like what to look for with that type of, when you talk about a tax advisor, a lawyer, a financial advisor, all of the, anybody else in between? I think you said an estate planner or something like that.
Chris, have you ever gone shopping for a car?
I have.
So it's funny and out. I mean, obviously we have, but I'm sure you didn't buy the first car that you saw, or if you hire an employee, I'm sure you didn't hire the very first employee, in person you interviewed. I'm sure you interviewed at least two people. So the goal is same thing. You should be interviewing your experts that are giving you advice. Most people are going to go to the first doctor. They're going to go to the first CPA, the first person who has that designation. Their assumption is they know everything, and they're just going to be able to solve all their needs. The problem is not everyone knows everything. So whatever your specific problem is you're trying to solve, go to the people you're going to get the help from and ask them what's your track record, who are the clients you worked with, can I speak with some of your former clients? You need to know that they can actually help you. A lot of times people are more focused on advertising. They don't actually have the skills. And sometimes the people who have skills aren't great at advertising. So you might need to ask around and kind of dig to find those people.
Yeah.
If you find the right people, man, if you do it right, the laws in America are set up to where If you follow them, you won't have to pay nearly as much tax as you are today, for sure.
Yeah. So when we think, what it is there's just a lot of, I mean, it's ignorance. We just don't know. And if it's not yet, this information is out there. Thank God it's people like you that understand this, that is putting that information out there for those that are either high income earners on the verge of becoming a high income earner, and why this is so important. Yeah, you don't put the cart before the horse. And this is a great strategy. Is there something that you'd like to share with the audience here today, like maybe a strategy, a flow, a checklist, something to kind of get this started? You mentioned about, building your A team and doing, go out and vetting those people. Anything else that could be part of that process that can put them in a position now to now be saving on taxes and now putting that money to go to work for them?
Yeah, and I think it always depends on your level of incomes. Depending on your level of income, you're going to qualify for different tax strategies out there with the government, with what you can do on your own, etc. But if let's say you're in the income of perhaps 150,000 and less, you can just do normal things. Uh, the standard deduction. If you're a business owner, you can do your Augusta rule, write off maybe your business cell phone, your square footage of your office that happens to be your home, whatever. You can do those normal things, and that alone should get you down to paying almost nothing just from that. Once you start crossing into the 300 income range and above, uh, you can do additional things, strategies that will get you down to half your tax bill, to potentially even 100% off. And that's where it gets a lot of fun. Those are the people we can help the most because there's more to do. And I can give you an example on a couple strategies if you'd like.
Yeah, please do. Please share with us. We would love to hear those. And listeners, make sure you take notes and go back and listen to this episode again, just in case you miss anything with what Ethan shares.
So let's say you come to me, or I'm going to put an example client. They're going to come to me, and they most likely have already had a CPA. We'll call him George. George already has a CPA. He's already figured out how to do his deductions, but he's still left with some income that he has to figure out how to mitigate. Because that's the goal. Let's lower our tax bill so we can take that cash we freed up and then go find a fun place to invest it. In investments, you're back into your business, whatever you're deciding to do with it. So here's a couple of things you can do. I'll share maybe one that a lot of people don't know about. You ever heard of energy credits before?
Yes.
So a big push in the prior years were like solar credits. You could buy a solar panel on for your home, and you get a credit for that to some nature. Well, they're phasing out residential as we speak. Depending on when this launches, it will most likely still be gone. But there's another opportunity you could do with energy credits. This is a really cool one that a lot of my clients love, and it's no money out of pocket. You don't even have to put a dime into it because the government's going to give you the money to make the investment. So this it's going to blow your mind. So think about this. You're going to go to the government and you're going to say, they're going to ask you, which energy deal do you want to invest into? And you're going to tell them batteries. So a lot of our clients are using a battery option.
Yeah.
They're going to say, great.
Lithium battery or lithium?
Well, these batteries are just housing electricity from solar panels, windmills. They're being rented out to other government municipalities. So they're not like car batteries or anything like that. Just one option. It's an approved government encouraged program. So they say, great, what deal are you investing into? You say this battery program. Then what they're going to do is they're going to approve you for credits. And this is how they're going to give you the money back. So they're going to look at federally, they're going to look at every tax you paid the last 3 years. So let's say you paid $100K in tax each year. You're going to get back almost $300,000 in taxes direct deposited back into your bank account as a credit. So if you paid $100K in tax in 2025, 23, and 24, that's 300 combined. So that's going to go all the way back to your bank account. Now you're sitting on $300,000, that example. Well, what you did is you promised the government you're going to take that 300K and you're going to put it into the battery deal that you promised. Clients I work with, they always ask me, "Hey, can I, take some money and go on a vacation?" No, no, that's against the law. You can't do that. You promised you were going to go invest it into the batteries. So they're going to give you back all of your prior year's taxes through credits. That's what you make to use the investment. So you following with me so far on that?
Got it. So again, if they're giving you the money, you got to make sure you have to reinvest it back into that
Correct.
asset. Yeah.
So you're like, well, why would I do that? Well, here's how you benefit. The Big Beautiful Bill states you can write off bonus depreciation, and it has increased the amount you can write off as of prior years, prior administrations. The batteries themselves have bonus depreciation. So you can write off the value of those batteries in 2026 taxes as a deduction. So all the money they gave you back, that 300K, went to purchase the batteries. Now these batteries have been appraised and you can deduct that in this year's taxes, and oftentimes 2 times the value of what you put in, which means it would wipe out for most people, 50 to 100% of their tax bill in that scenario with no money in their pocket. So it's on the government dime giving you the money back to make the investment, and then you can deduct that investment on your tax bill, and boom, you don't have to do anything else. You just wiped out your entire tax bill doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you that are listening, you probably have not heard this before. And again, this is really, really important. Why you're going to want to contact Ethan here, once he gives you his contact for information. Of course, all that information will be in the show notes. That is incredible and so important. Now, you mentioned like batteries. I mean, are there other things that can be energy credits? Can that be oil, gas? That can be electricity. All of the what else would that look like?
Yeah, we've done some oil and gas deals. They're okay. They're not as big margins as just the one I described.
So batteries have a good margin on that. Okay,
They
got it.
they do, yeah. It's well, no money out of pocket to get back all your tax. That's a pretty good,
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good deal.
not a bad deal.
I'll give you another idea. I mean, we've got so many strategies. I'll just, if you want another option.
Sure, please do.
You ever
'Cause I'm
heard of
sure
the?
this is going to prompt people to want to reach out and now, investigate these batteries and maybe what you're going to share with us now.
Sure, yeah. Just go Google this stuff. You ever heard of the government or the government organization FEMA? FEMA.
Yeah.
So their whole purpose is to go out and help people in need, in natural disasters. The hurricanes in North Carolina, the fires in Hawaii, people lose their homes, so they need a place to live. Well, there's an opportunity that you can do with FEMA, that you can engage in one of their contracts that they have. So your obligation of the contract would be that you have to purchase a tiny house. You ever heard of it, like those small houses?
Those small, yeah, you see them on like Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So there's a certain company that they have contracts with that you have to buy them from. So you would purchase essentially one of these tiny homes. And let's say they go for $100,000, just as an example. You can buy them for cheaper or for more, depending on your need.
They could be like anywhere from 25,000 to 100,000. Exactly. Yeah.
They can go for different prices. Exactly. That's but let's just, for math's sake, let's say you spend 100K.
Yeah.
I'll just give you an example. They've been IRS approved or appraised at 5 times the value of what you're putting in. So let's say you spend 100K, you can actually wipe out and deduct 500,000 from your income, which is amazing.
Wow. Now you have an asset.
So you purchase a tiny home, you get back more in taxes than what you spent on the house, is the idea. And on top of that, this is the crazy part that you're going to love, but it actually is not as crazy as you think. Remember, there's a contract with the government. FEMA, in that $100,000 option currently, and again, this may change by the time you listen to this video, but the contracts are going for $2,000 a month, which means they're going to pay you $2,000 a month every single month, direct deposited in your bank account to take that house from you and go rent it out from you to give to people that have lost their homes to live in.
Got it. So it's temporary, those people living until they get their home rebuilt or whatever they're going to do.
Exactly. So you purchase an asset that you're going to get more back in taxes than what you spent on it. On top of that, you're going to get a cash flow check from the government coming in every single month.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
That's really cool. Wow. And these are things, like you said, you don't, I mean, they're out there, but you don't, but a lot, they just don't, you don't hear anybody, talking on a mass level. It's something you got to find out, which obviously you're sharing with us here today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the goal is you just need to speak to an expert who actually knows how to save you on tax and just ask them, like, hey, straight up, what can you do for me? Ask them that. Don't be afraid to just take their advice. Actually ask what they can do. And if you're not satisfied, then go keep interviewing till you are. The average CPA, what they're going to do is they're going to be retroactive. They're going to say, all right, April 15th, what did you do last year? And let me help file that for you. Well, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who's going to meet you in the current tax year and map out a plan on what we can do to wipe that bill out. It's too late if you're coming to them right the day before tax filing.
This is amazing stuff. I mean, getting here, you're buying an asset, somebody's paying you for it. It's like a rental property. And again, then, either you could go back and probably use it again if there's another natural disaster at some point, or, rent it out to somebody else, I guess, between. I wouldn't say it would be an Airbnb. Well, it could be, depends on where it is and so on. So yeah, I mean, that's something to think about. I'm just, it's amazing. And then like how it's appraised much higher, and how that you can use that against your taxes to offset your tax. Now, does that carry over as well, or is that just one shot based upon that tax year?
Yeah, typically, if from with our clients, if let's say your income was 400, but you have now a $500,000 deduction because you spent more. Now you could always buy cheaper houses that wouldn't deduct as much, but you can carry forward that delta, that surplus, to the next year.
Yeah, got it. Wow, it's impressive, because anytime you can find those, I used to do that all the time and trying to find different ways to kind of offset. And thank God, knock on wood, I've been able to do it. But there's sometimes where you kind of run the course with something, and now you got to seek out new things. And this is amazing what you've shared here, and probably got a lot of people that are in that bracket that listen to our show that might say, never thought about that. Okay.
And it's easier too than if you have to go think about, all right, let me go back and try to be creative on stacking up all these write-offs, the Augusta rule, writing off your gas in your car, all these little things. I'd just say, hey, just do a one and done shot deal like that, and then you're good. You're good to go. Especially the energy credits where you just wipe them out. But again, these are ideas that you could also, it's not that you have to take any one strategy. You can mix and mingle them. Just depends on what your need is and what you've already have written down. And some have qualifications to them as well.
Yeah. Wow. Very smart advice. And I love the approach of doing it right. Planning, you got to strategize and plan, build your winning team. Make sure you get people that understand like what you're sharing, and can give you the pros and cons based upon your situation, and then helping you, guide you through the process how to go about doing it. Wow, powerful. Anything else that as we get near the end of the show, we have a few minutes here, Ethan. Anything else that you feel that the audience should know about what you've been sharing with us with today's topic?
Whenever you look into a strategy, I've got some clients that we are having to help out. You do want to make sure you're talking to someone who's qualified. And I'm going to emphasize qualified. There's people that sell things that are not licensed to. Really make sure the strategy you're talking about is legal, it seems so obvious to say that, but you'd be surprised at when someone has a good voice and they seem reasonable, maybe ask them, are there tax attorney opinion letters on this? Have there ever been audits? How many clients have you sent through this that's been successful? How long has this been around? Ask those questions to vet the strategy, because you're not playing into an arena you're not licensed for, so you don't have as much knowledge, but you can do your due diligence through the proper questions and research that will then guide you on the discernment if this is a legitimate person or strategy to work with. So I would just advise people when they're looking into things like that, ask the right questions so you can feel comfortable. You're not going to get some random letter in the mail, IRS knocking on your door saying, "What is this? We don't know what it is. We're going to need your money back." Let's not get into that mess. The strategies that we use have been around for a long time. We vet them for at least 12 months, 6 to 12 months with our tax attorneys. So we're very confident, and none of them have been either audited, or if they have, they've been through random audits in the past. So it's just protect yourself.
Yeah, no, excellent advice. Excellent advice. And we hope everybody, again, we want to encourage everybody to really go back and listen to the show, share it with some other people. And Ethan's going to give you his contact information. And I advise everybody, if you're interested in finding out more, if you're in position that you think you're in position to do this, do it. Even if not, and you're ramping up and you feel that you're going to be at that level at some point, it's good to be more proactive than reactive. So, take some initiative. Ethan, first of all, I want to thank you personally for taking time out of your day to be with us here on today's episode. Just some really valuable insights that kind of just woke up a lot of people that there are these tax shelters, so to speak, that many are not aware of, and how they could take advantage of this that could help build significant wealth. Because 25% or more, it's a lot. It adds up. And especially when you're a high income earner, it's so important. What would be the best way the audience can get in contact with you? What are you up to? And anything that you'd like to offer the audience?
Yeah, I'd say the best way to contact me is just our website. It's www.theexponentialfreedom.com. Don't forget the. We thought it'd be fun just to kind of put that in there, like the Ohio State, how they did that one. So theexponentialfreedom.com. Yeah, I mean, just for anyone on this podcast, I know we had a conversation prior, so we're just going to do it exclusively for your podcast listeners. Just feel free to put in your info. I'll sit down with you and we'll have a discussion on your taxes for free. We won't charge you for the consultation, so we'll make that a promise to you guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Complimentary. Take advantage. This is a great way to also, again, set yourself up of where you are and where you want to be in terms of building your wealth. And nowadays we got to find all different new ways, innovative ways to do that. And the right person to do that is with Ethan. So make sure you reach out. Again, all of Ethan's contact information will be in the show notes, whether if on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again, Ethan, for taking the time to be with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Sustainable Success. Again, we encourage you also to check out our sponsor, alumnidirect.com, especially if you are into, supporting your alumni as an alumni, and then also maybe perhaps you're in a fraternity, sorority, or another type of group that you want to, re-engage people you haven't talked to in a while. Reach out to them at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Friday here at the same time, 12 noon, and also 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Till then, have a great day and take care.